Back. Hello, everyone. Hello. This is TJ with Solutions by TJ. And today is good. I'm just coming back from Philadelphia with a friend. Golly, I'm getting more and more moles the older I get. But I'm just coming back from Philadelphia with a friend. I had a really good trip. I'm excited to be back. I have some really good stuff for you guys this evening. I'm going to talk about how the only way to get jobs through SnapDocs and for new signing agents. It has worked for all of us. I'm sure that it'll work for you as well if you follow the system. And I'm going to stop telling you because y'all ain't listening to me. I have Mariama coming on at about 9:15 to talk to you a little bit and tell you how to get jobs through signing, through SnapDocs and through other platforms. I also have my good friend Sean, who is on, and he just recently passed the signing agent test. So he will be talking about the process that he went through. And yeah, to go on and pass the test, take the training and all of that. So I think that'll be a really good good walkthrough for you all. Hello, everybody. Miss Davis, Widenar, Jacqueline. Hey, everybody. Hey, Demi. I appreciate it. See, Hunter. So, yeah, we have some, excuse me, I have something in my teeth, but we have some good stuff going on this evening. Like I said, Mariama is going to talk about how to get jobs because there are so many people who are saying, man, I cannot, I'm not able to get jobs. SnapDocs isn't sending me any notifications, blah, 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 blah. But we hustled for those jobs, and I've told y'all exactly what to do. So I want you to do that. But she's going to come on and reiterate what I've already told you. Also, regarding the, hold on one second. Mariam is texting me. Hold on one second. Either way, though. So she was saying that to let Sean go on first and then she'll go on second. It really doesn't matter. But so I've gotten a lot of contact this week through Facebook talking about, people just reaching out, asking questions, which I do appreciate it. Hey, Cynthia. Um, I do appreciate it. Thank you all for reaching out to me. Some people were asking, well, is there any way that I can talk to you for free? So my charges now have started for $27 for 15 minutes, 47 for 30, and 97 for a whole hour. And that is simply because I got to get to work making some money. So I had to do something with my schedule that made sense so that I can get some money. Sean was one of the people who reached out to me and got on one of my Calendly calls. And we are actually doing a barter and trade agreement, which I don't mind at all. So if you want to talk and want a free call and you have something to barter and trade, like he's teaching me how to do foreign exchange and investing, and I'm teaching him the notary and real estate stuff. Great exchange for me. I have another lady who is helping me with email marketing and my funnels for other businesses. Good exchange for me, good business exchange. So if you have something like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via Facebook. And then we can just, go on from there. But I got to get my time under control. So that's why I'm doing that. Sean, I am going to start out with you and let Mariama go last. And like I said, Sean has I'm going to add you to this. Sean has gone over all of the testing material. He passed the test and he flew it through it like a bird. So I wanted him to be able to tell you exactly what he did. How you doing tonight, Sean?
Doing okay. How you doing?
I'm good. So tell us your process in going through just the um, online training material as well as preparing for the test, and then what did you do to actually take the test?
So what I'll say is, with the process overall, start to finish, it took me a month. Now,
Mm,
what's significant about that month is that's during Corona, that's during procrastination, that's during everyday hurdles. Looking back now, I probably could have got this all done in 2 weeks.
mm,
Step one was obviously to become a notary, right? So pre-COVID, you could take the application, go straight down to the building and hand it in. They're not accepting any applications physically, obviously because of COVID. So I had to mail it in. That took like a week. Once I got that information back, the next step was to become a remote notary, and I got that. I got the information in a week. I even made a mistake there because you have to get your digital certificate and your digital seal. So I turned in the wrong seal the first time. So I lost like, I don't know, like 3 or 5 days with that. So I had to double back and turn it in again. Once I got that information and approved, they did the background check, obviously from the first two. The next step was to sign up as a signing agent. So you have to take the exam, you have to study, then take the exam. So even with that, that was a gap. I went out of town. I procrastinated and looked at it for like 3 or 4 days. And then I finally sat down and buckled down and took class. Again, messing around with it, I took it in a day and a half. I probably could have finished it all in one day.
The class?
The class itself, the NSA class.
Okay.
Now, what's key, now after that, once you pass, you know immediately whether you pass or fail. One note I did do was I went on my notary, nationalnotary.org profile that they have with what is it called, signingagent.com. And I was just looking up what does the public see of me. And I noticed certain things weren't checked off. So I gave him a call and said, hey, I just passed my test. I'm curious to find out why certain things say yes and no on here. The guy was real nice. He went through it and talked to me about it. He even updated a few things. And he said, well, certain things you can update right now, it'll be pretty quick. Others will take, a couple of days or whatever. And this was even without having the being a member of National Notary, because for me, I didn't want to start paying the errors and omissions insurance, the membership fees until I actually passed and became an NSA, even a Ron. So from that point, he went and updated all the information, and he said, okay, by Monday, which is coming tomorrow, everything will be, posted correctly, and I'll show as a qualified notary signing agent on my profile in the nationalnotary.com. So
Perfect.
that's start to finish. Key thing I will say, if you go back to square one, right? For my journey in particular, I don't have any experience and I don't have any desire to become what they call a traditional notary. I'm doing strictly remote, everything. Even as a regular Ron, I wanted to do remote. So what I will tell you, if you have no clue about what remote notaries do at all, even before you sign up, before you pay your first membership fee or anything, pick up this book on the National Notary website. It's like $15. It'll just tell you, walk through everything as far as what to expect, and that's strictly on the Ron level. Right now, once you get past that, and what helped me um, expedite the learning curve, I would say, as far as the signing agent portion of it, taking the test, would be the study guide that you mentioned in one of your other the camera right here
Yeah.
that you mentioned, but there's a specific section in the back. Let me get the name of it. Guiding principles in the back in like the 70, I think page 70 something. But there are all these little shorthand entries about all the principles of what it takes to become a NSA. So
What is that called again?
It's called the guided principles. It's in the back of the study guide. I think it starts at like page 70 or something.
Okay.
And what that did was all the 45 test questions that you use, that you have to pass on the signing agent website. I basically went through those section by section. And even though it's an open book test, some of the questions you might even know the answer to. I forced myself to say, even though I know the answer, I'm not going to answer the question until I find it in that book first. So
Yeah.
I went through, so it took me twice as long to take the test on purpose because I wanted to know where the answer was so I can also learn how this book works. So once I did that, I knocked it out, and then I passed the test. So the next step was, okay, as everybody have analysis paralysis, you're nervous, you don't figure like, okay, what am I gonna, how do I feel, confident going into a remote signing task or job, signing up for any site or doing it on your own. So there's another book, Loan Documents, which you also mentioned. If you look at the book and you use this in conjunction with the study guide, the biggest hurdle is, okay, I need to know a quick summary of what these documents are that I'm having people sign and notarize. So in the study guide, they have abbreviated versions of what each document, what it means. So you can actually use that and say, okay, this document, particularly one like the note document, you say this is the promissory note, shows what you're going to sign as far as what you're obligated to pay for your mortgage loan, taxes, and etc. But there's a brief summary right at the top of it that says that. And then in conjunction, what I'll use is the loan document and actually look at the long format of that document. And I can see the actual signature lines of what the borrower is going to sign, as well as the signing agent, and
Gotcha.
it shows what the seals, the signatures, etc. And I just went through that line by line. And you want me to talk about the as far as like what I figured out on the seasons? You want to get into that now or wait?
However you want to do it.
So once I started putting that together, it's okay. What I figured out as a newbie, and again, I'm giving you all this information. A lot of people want to be armed before they even walk in the door, and I understand that because I haven't even done my first signing yet. But just it's giving me the confidence. So the next thing is, okay, how does the actual job work, right? So what I figured out by reading the book, signing agents have seasons, right? And basically there are 5 categories. There's refinance, HELOC, which is home equity line of credit, reverse mortgage, which is for 62 years and older, new purchase homes, and commercial. And the most popular one, the most active one is going to be refinance. They said about 70% of your assignments would be that. And also it coincides with, if you think about it, interest rates. So if the interest rates are low, any existing homeowner is automatically going to refinance their house to get a better rate. So of course, these are the jobs that are going to kick out fastest. If you happen to come in and be a certified NSA at that particular time. And then of course, there are going to be other criteria. Maybe if you live near a, what do they call those? The communities where you have to be like 60 something years older in the subdivision. You know what I'm talking about?
Senior community.
Yeah, like a senior community. If you live near one of those, then you're probably going to be doing a lot more of the reverse mortgages, for whatever reason. If it's a new booming city or a new development, then you're probably going to be doing new purchase sales. It just depends on the season or the area where you live at, is what I'm noticing.
Okay. So, Sean, are you in an attorney or a non-attorney state?
I'm in a non-attorney.
Okay. I'm in a non-attorney state as well. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to come on who's in an attorney state, because they have a couple of questions, I guess, in the comments about an attorney state or a non-attorney state. But those seasons, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, anything?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, if they mean like, because I was researching like New York and places like that, I think you have to be, when they say non-attorney, are they saying you have to be an attorney? You have to be attorney has to be present while you sign.
Attorney has to be present while you're signing.
Yeah, I think that's the only stipulation. You know.
Okay, and I believe in Georgia and
Yep.
where are you located? Are you in Maryland?
No, I'm in Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I have contacts in Georgia. I have contacts in New York as well. So that's what I was kind of understanding. Even Florida has a weird quirk, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
And if I remember correctly, Baltimore does too. Like they have to be title certified or something, a professional title certificate or something like that. So, yeah, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, the National Notary Association is the hub for all information for that type, and their frequently asked questions. So if you have any questions about, you know, your state and the laws in your state, National Notary Association is the best person to call for that. Again, I always say call them because, man, navigating that website is just crazy to me. You can search for something and never find it.
Right.
So that's good. That's good.
The other thing I will say, so think about after you actually pass the test and you're trying to work, right? Your first live remote signing, we have a huge advantage if you're a remote notary because now I can basically put these books in front of me out of camera view and reference what I need to say, sound intelligent what I'm saying, and then know exactly where to sign. And like I was saying, even if you were doing a traditional signing, there's a way to pull this off in a professional manner if you're pulling out your books. I just kind of need to, and I would think I would use this as first step even before I start calling the National Notary Hotline. There's so much information there. I was like, I barely should need to call.
Yeah.
But I will say it doesn't have even the guideline book doesn't have every single page of summation in there. It has the main pages. You know, I know I couldn't rattle them off for it, but there are a bunch of them in there. The HUD ones and all that.
And to become familiar with the documents for your clients, I recommend like for the first 2 or 3 closings, you actually read through every page of those documents. It's 200 pages, but you read through them to familiarize yourself because you'll probably never have to read through it again. And it's common sense. It's not rocket science. All you're saying is, this is basically what this document is saying when you're summarizing the document to your client. So, what Sean is talking about is a much shorter way, but as a backup to that, read the documents yourself, go through them and know what they're talking about.
I agree. I've done that. The print's a little rough sometimes because it's kind of small, but yeah, I definitely try to read, line by line or just try to understand what I'm talking about, even though I have a little cheat sheet. I'm not solely relying on that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it does. It does. Because the more you do it and you don't do that, like say for instance, you don't do the other mortgage that you were talking about with the elderly people. I don't know why I left my mind. Reverse mortgages. If you don't do that a lot, if you don't get a lot of those closings in, you might forget. So it is good to have that cheat sheet in those instances.
Right.
So, Sean, do you have an idea right now of how you're going to get remote online notary jobs? Tell us about that.
My first attack will be I'm in a blessed situation. So my first attack was when I first got signed as a Ron. I immediately went to notarycam.com and signed up. Now, I hadn't heard anything, but I was trying to figure out why. But now I understand it's probably because of my national notary profile wasn't complete. They're probably like, this dude's not even ready, So that's when I went to fix that. So now I'm going to go back and sign up as a NSA agent. The second thing, just like you said, let me circle back. One thing, what you're saying about the duties, responsibilities, and just the logic. A lot of it is common sense of the role that you play. And I was reading through it, and I said, okay, yeah, I understand. You know, some of these things. Again, if you're a moralistic person, it makes sense. It just clicks.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so the next thing I'm going to sign up for is, I think it's SnapDocs you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm checking that out. I may call some of these title companies as well. Even for experience, I'm in a unique situation where I have I think one of my cousins is actually a notary, and based out of Texas. I haven't talked to her yet, but I'm gonna find out for sure. I heard through the grapevine, through the family grapevine, that she was one, and so I'm gonna check with her. Secondly, a close friend of mine is actually buying a second home, so technically I'm qualified to do their actual signing, become the signing agent on the closing of the house. Whether or not I do it or not depends on my confidence level, but at the very least, I'm going to be in the room. Even if I'm watching another signing agent do the job, I'm going to be in there watching closely, taking notes. Because, like I said, I don't have any equipment. And from my understanding, it sounds like they're doing it the traditional way, when you go in and, I have no stamps, no logbook, none of that stuff. Everything I'm doing is all digital. If they're open to that, cool, I'll do it. Because if I'm going to make a mistake or not say make a mistake. If I'm a fumble through it or stumble through it, I'd much rather do with somebody that I know that's not gonna hold it. So that's an opportunity. I haven't decided which path I'm gonna take on that yet, but that's my immediate goal, to sign up for all these different NSA websites, and I'm willing to. I'm starting to see the difference between an independent agent versus a contract agent. They're going to take a piece of the pie. I'm cool with that in the beginning, because I just want to get the experience at this point, and get my numbers up, and then make a decision if I want to go completely independent or roll through it, depending. Because I was watching where you saying you had I think it was a friend or a cousin that makes like $1,000 a day doing signing. So I'm curious to know, is that independent, or is that through contract?
Absolutely independent.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely independent. They're actually in a contest right now. So and they're in a contest I think to make 20,000 this month. So I mean, there's another lady in College Station who I spoke to maybe last week, who's making $20,000, had her first $20,000 month. And she's looking to hire out other notaries to do jobs. But even in these little bitty towns, it is popping for real.
Okay. Now, were they traditional? Did they make the transition from like digital mobile to remote, or they're all in person?
I didn't ask that question.
Okay.
Kendra did a video not that long ago about marketing your remote online notary business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have to spend that $45 and look through it, because I haven't. But I am curious to see like how they're talking about marketing yourself as a remote online notary. So has anybody purchased that program and can let us know like what that's about? Is it good? Do you think it's worth it? Let us know. Of course, I mean, I love supporting everybody who's on the platform. So I think I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna, just get it, and then I'll let y'all know if I don't hear anything back.
Okay. All right. The other thing, I'll definitely take your advice of checking out some local mentors who actually already in the game doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a question on so on the documents, right? There are certain things about like blank spaces or the check boxes. We're responsible for all that, right? Anything that has to be filled out, that's our responsibility as a signing agent.
Yes, to make sure that it's filled out.
Okay.
Blank spaces, I'm going to remember to ask Mariama that question as well, because she may have, huh?
It's hard to determine what, the definition of a blank space on a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying, with all the.
Absolutely. And then in some spots, you have to contact the notary company that hired you to ask them how they want to handle it. Because sometimes they don't want you to cross through those spaces, other times they do. So it's always good to ask them how they want to handle certain blank spaces in the documents. But again, that's why you got to go through it ahead of time so that you can contact them and ask those questions as well. But yeah, I'm gonna give Mariama. She said 9:36 is her estimated time of arrival, so she'll be on here at about 9:36.
No problem.
Did you have any other questions though?
Yeah, I did. I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to think of what it was now.
Was it about the documents?
Covered. Let me see. Let me check my notes.
Okay. Cool beans. Yeah, you're right. That's if they send the documents on time. And when they don't send the documents on time, sometimes I ask them, can you back it up 30 minutes to an hour? Can I contact and let me contact the client and see if that's okay with them. If they're sending the documents to me real late. I haven't had a problem with them saying that's a problem. But
I do remember one other question. The
okay.
oath and affirmations and the jurat, right? So is there a place where we pull this off? We'll pull this information and memorize. Is there something short that we have to speak upon? We have to confirm something with the signer. I noticed I see that. And then are there trigger words in the actual document other than sworn? I think is one of them. Are there any other trigger words that we know? Oh, we need to do
sworn, acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
You'll see oaths. Let me go to SnapDocs real quick. I'm gonna share my screen. Because there is a spot on signingagent.com. I mean on is it .com or .org? Okay. So I believe I found where these documents are. Are there examples of these documents? U.S. Notary Primer. The most common types of notarizations.
Hello, Catrice. Hello, Darkness Falls. I'm just now seeing all the comments, so my apology if I'm not speaking or saying hello.
Okay, so yeah, so this talks about the purpose of the acknowledgement is to ensure that the signer of the document is who they claim to be and has voluntarily signed the document. And that's why, sometimes when you have a parent and child, an elderly parent and child, you have to check in sometimes to make sure that that parent is coherent enough to sign those documents. That is a part of what the notaries do. And if they are not, they talk to you more so about that in the training. If they are not, then you may need to halt that signing. The jurat, the purpose of the jurat is for a signer to swear or affirm that the contents of a document are true. An oath, in some cases, a client may simply need to administer an oath or affirmation orally, rather as a part of a jurat, affidavit, or other written document. The purpose of administering a verbal oath or affirmation is, again, to compel a client to truthfulness.
So what specifically, like even when I became a notary, she went through an oath, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess what I'm saying is, do they have this committed to memory? She wasn't looking at no paper. She just said, are you sworn to do blah, 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 and the duties and all that? I'm like, yeah, of course. But I'm asking.
So were you in front of her?
Yeah, I was right in front of her.
No, normally it's a sheet of paper.
Oh, well, maybe she's been doing it so long, she probably has it memorized. So that's what I'm asking her. Where's everybody pulling the actual words for the oath or the affirmation or the sworn? Is it somewhere written down?
No, not that I know of. We can ask
Okay.
Mariama, but not that I know of. I have not seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. But I can give y'all this page of the combinatorial acts. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I promise you I haven't. That's crazy. So she was just able to come right off the top of her head. You swear to do such and such and such and such.
Yeah, I mean that's happened twice to me. When let's see, yeah, I've gotten legal documents notarized, at the bank or whatever, and the same thing. They look at me and they, whatever. I can't remember what specific document I had, but she said like a quick, oath verbiage or whatever. I just assumed.
Okay. So Darkness Falls is saying that my notary journal that I got from American Society of Notaries has the affirmation and acknowledgement at the bottom of every page.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because I have not seen it. Like normally it's just, you read the document. I, Sean, swear to such and such and such. That's how I've seen it.
One other question I had, which I might have done, well, I think I got away with it, but it was just by, ignorance. So, like on resumes, I had put like when I knew I was going to pass this test, but I was trying to make myself marketable. I had put like, signing agent pending and all that. Now, I can legally put it on there. But I noticed there are some rules in the guidelines saying where you can't. It's a particular way of how you advertise your credentials. But it seemed like it felt like it was like a catch-22 or oxymoron. Like, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. I can try to dig it out. I was curious to what they meant.
Hmm. And you say what was in there?
They has real strict rules of how you
how to advertise yourself.
Yeah, how you present yourself.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Let's see. A notary signing agent will not misrepresent the agent's background, education, training, or expertise in the application or interview, or when providing signing services on a website or in any promotional materials distributed by the agent.
Mm-hmm.
Exaggeration, I understand what that means.
So exact notary is saying, I believe you have to state you're not an attorney when you're advertising.
Okay.
And that makes sense. That does make sense as well. But when Mariama comes on, she's going to talk about how to get jobs. She can answer more questions about the documents if y'all have questions about the documents. Karen Singleton, the verbiage for oaths. Let me see. The verbiage for oaths, affirmation, and jurats can be found in the complete how-to guide for notaries, chapter 9. You can get a free online copy of this guide if you're an NNA member.
Yeah, I am now.
I know, right? It's worth it.
Yeah. I had the guy break it down to me on the phone. Like I said, I'm calling you now for all this advice. What's the difference between you talking to me and the membership? So he broke down, bit by bit, and then once he was finished, I was sold. I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's well worth it. Well, Sean, thank you so much for coming on. I ain't gonna hold you on here all night. You did a great job. You did a great job. Sean is not that person in front of the camera, so he was back there kicking and screaming like, but I appreciate it.
All
So
right.
thank you.
Glad to help.
Absolutely. I'll see you tomorrow in our class where you're teaching me stocks, and I want to start investing and put my money where my mouth is tomorrow. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yay.
Works.
I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. So that was good. So, a couple of things that he said was there's no need for procrastination. You go on and dive in there. A lot of the stuff that you are looking for within that test is also in the book. He gave you, the portion of the book where a lot of the information is. I put it in the comments. So please, please, please don't hesitate. He said it took him a month, but what took him a month could have taken him 2 weeks. So take that into consideration and let's get out and get some money. Because again, there's a lot of money to be made. A lot of money to be made. Can you do a segment of cost of getting started after certification and commission? Tammy, I've talked about that in other videos. I think I'm gonna start frequently asked questions type of thread, I guess, to put in the bottom, so that I'm not so that y'all have access to that. People who are just coming on have access to that information. But just off the top of my head, signing up with the NNA, if you're already a notary, you're going to pay about $179 for the package. If you have to become a notary or renew your notarization, you'll walk away, I'd say at the max, paying about $450. The printer is about $250. So you are at what, $700? You have to buy ink for your printer. That's probably another 100. So I would say all in $1,000 wouldn't be a bad estimate. It's probably a little under 1,000, I'm sure. Let me ask Sean. Hold on. Hey, Sean.
Hey, yeah, I can talk to that. I was trying to log in to type. So yeah, they nickel and dime you to death. I wish they had like upfront pricing so you would know. My application fee was $45 to become a notary. My remote application was $45. I paid $69 for the digital certificate. I paid, I don't know, $15 for the digital seal. And then I did want to make a note. One of your previous videos, you were saying get the 169 package, but that doesn't include all the docs. If you want to get the full information, like what I'm talking about, you got to pay the $259 or something like that for the NSA. So that was $259 for that. Then there's errors in insurance, depending on what you're paying. If you're getting 25, 50, 100,000. I think 100 is at $125. What else? What other fee did I pay? I paid one more fee. Can't remember what it was. I paid one more fee. And like I said, I'm all digital. I don't have seal. I don't have printers, paper, nothing, none of that. And I'm still probably at, I stopped counting after a while, but yeah, I was well over $500-600. Maybe even, like you said, closer to 1,000. I just stopped counting after I was tired of like getting nickel and dime to death.
Yeah.
So I just kept paying it. Even now, even though there's a $29 Ron class to pay for, and I'm not saying it's not worth it, but I'm just saying get ready, But I look at it like this: people I was watching a video the other day, and this lady paid $300,000 to become a lawyer. You see other people, even to become a real estate agent, it's several hundred, $1,000 in right out the beginning. So it's all relative. I look at it, $1,000 to bring 1,000 in a day. Yeah, that's easy math for me.
Absolutely.
So it made sense. And again, I paid for what was necessary first. If there's anything that was just going to sit there and collect dust on the shelf, I wasn't paying for it right away. I didn't pay for my membership. I didn't pay for my what was it? The NNA insurance. I didn't pay for my insurance. Water. I wasn't doing any of that until it was time that I knew I was going to, pass the test. Make sure, even I'll even say with the background, right? I wasn't worried, but they are real strict on it. They got stuff on there like speeding tickets and just crazy infractions you wouldn't think, deducting points, and you can only get a 25-point maximum in Virginia. I came out with no problem, but I'm just saying you'd be surprised at some of the strictness of what they don't mess around with your background check. So you pass that, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So those are a lot of the costs.
Okay. And so for people that I mentor, like I have these books, so I try to make it as easy as possible for y'all not to have to get the books because you're already paying for mentorship. So if I have it, then I can pass it on or pass the information. Plus, I'm going through every page of your documents with you. So for them, that's why I say you don't necessarily need all the docs because you got me. And if I have it, then you have it. So but I mean, I agree. If you are in this and you are in another state and on your own, that what is it? $179 packages for you. Absolutely. Okay, I'm about to bring Mariama on. Hello, beautiful self is here. I'm gonna put you down, Sean. Hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Awesome. So this is my cousin Mariama. This is the one that is man, she's the document queen to me. She's who I call when I have questions about the docs. And trust me, I still have questions and I'm calling her getting on her nerves and she's hollering at me, Shimmy. So anyway,
Hey
so
guys.
I just wanted to bring her on so that she could tell you, since y'all seem like y'all don't believe what I'm telling you how to get jobs, so that you can hear it from her exactly how to get notary signing agent jobs. So
So
tell us.
I am going to go straight into it. I was listening to some things that Sean said, and Sean is exactly right. In the beginning, you all do need to get the certifications and be a member of NNA. Is very, very important because they do look for that when you are not showing lots of signings in SnapDocs. So please make sure you have all of the certifications that are showing. And you can do that by going on signingagent.com. When you go into signingagent.com, just look at your profile and just look at your literally look at your picture and see if your picture looks like someone else's picture. And as you're looking at the pictures, you'll see differences. For example, you'll see some of them may have a stripe on them. Some of them may have a blue seal. Some of them may have just a regular signing agent seal. And everything that you see on that picture, you need to get on the phone with NNA or whoever you may be certified through and say, hey, I need my picture literally to look like this picture. And that will let them know, okay, you are missing certain certifications and you want to make sure that you're fully qualified or as highly qualified as possible. Now, as time goes by, you've been doing this a long time, for example, how I've been doing it. And I will tell you all just a little bit of my background in just a second. But just, when you've been doing it for a while, you will not need all of those certifications. You won't have to pay for membership and those things. Now, if things start getting a little funny in some years to come, and you're like, hey, I'm not getting that many signings. And of course, again, pay for that membership. Get yourself looking as if you have full credentials in the system. So that's very important. So just a little bit about me and where I am notarization wise. So I am literally, I think I just did my probably I think I'm at 1,073, something like that. So last week I went over the 1,000 notarization mark. So I have a wealth of knowledge in probably every type of signing, including the ones that Sean went through and some more too. As you do a few signings, you'll get some older signings that kind of come here and there, just not all the time, but there are those five typical ones that he spoke about. So when I first started, and Latanya, you can let me know if I need to slow down or someone's asking a question or so. Just let me know.
You're
But
good.
when I first started, just so you all know, I remember I woke up and I was just like, something's going on. I'm not getting any signings. So maybe about 2 or 3 days later, I realized that my profile was not set up correctly. So I went on, as Sean talked about, and I made sure I had the blue stripe. I made sure I had the seal. I paid for anything that was possible to have paid for. And I think that highest package at the time was 179 or so. And I did make sure I had all of that, those certifications. So that got me showing correctly in the signingagent.com profile. Then after that, I remember sitting there, I was like, okay, well, I got a couple pings here and there. They're not close to me. And I was like, well, maybe I won't do this one or I won't do that one. The key is to accept them, okay? It doesn't matter what comes through, accept it. And the reason that you want to accept it, no matter where it is within your area, whether it's your area, far, somewhere 30 minutes out, even possibly from you, 40 minutes out from you, that's fine. Accept it, because what you want to do is gain a contact from accepting that. So when you get that first contact, you're able to now have their phone number and say, hey, I just accepted a signing from you all. And then you want to actually speak with someone directly. That direct person that you're talking to, let's just pretend her name is Kim. You speak with Kim, and now Kim has heard your voice. She knows your first and your last name. Always speak with your entire name, because in the SnapDoc system, that's how they're able to locate you. So always make sure that you're giving your name. Hey, this is Mariama Berry. I am just calling. I was just assigned to an order. Just want to see if you all have any more for the day, and just talk to you all to see what else may be out there for today or tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. The key is to build a relationship with Kim. That is the key. Not with Kim, not with Jimmy, not several people. If you can focus on just one person at that company, that would be great, because that one person at that company is who you're going to literally wake up every morning and call.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning, your day starts around 7 o'clock, or whenever you know the signings for particular companies are coming through, you literally start calling them before the signings come through. Now, when I first started, you couldn't find any of the phone numbers. I've realized now that for a lot of the signing companies, you can find the phone numbers online. So you want to pick up your phone, get those phone numbers, and just find you that direct contact person that you can literally stalk every day, every morning, and say, hey, Kim, it's Mariama. Got anything in my area? Most likely she's going to blow you off and say, no, did you receive a signing? Nope, but I remember to call you, Kim. I hope you're having a great day. Just be personable with them. They will get irritated. Who cares? Allow them to be irritated. They'll get past it after they've heard you for a week or two or three or an entire month call, and they are going to give you some signs, because guess what? At this point, they want you to stop calling them, because you
Mm-hmm.
are you are literally stopping them from doing the other work that they need to do. So I know TJ, Latanya, wherever you all may call her, she's my cousin. Um, I do know that she did the exact same thing that I did, and we literally stopped. I stopped. I told Latanya to stop. Every friend that I've had that has signed on, that are doing just a lot of signings. To those who just may do one every month, they do the same thing. We all literally stop. So let's say for whatever reason you may fall off for a little while, and you're like, oh, I don't have time for these signings now, but I want to get back on. Remember that contact and call them again when you're ready to start back up. And that is literally the key. You have to be consistent. If you're not going to be consistent, it's not going to work. In the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, consistency is the key. After a while, they'll just start sending them over to you. For example, now that I've done so many signings, um, I literally press the button when SnapDoc sends it over, and I pretty much know that I am going to get those signings, and I usually don't have to wonder whether I'm going to get that one or somebody else is going to get it. But the key is I built a little bit of a relationship with a lot of those companies. Now, I will tell you all, last week alone, I did signings for several companies that I had never done them for, and I've almost done signings for probably everybody. And I probably have even done them for them, but maybe one or two here or there in the past, and I just probably don't remember. But the key to those again was I reached out to someone at the company. And I know you all may say, hey, I'm not always able to get somebody. Leave a message, text them. They're going to start texting you, because everybody now is working from home. So text them, whatever phone number you have, it usually goes to a cell phone. text them, call them, do whatever you need to do to get in. When you get that first signing, now you got them a little bit on the hook. You want to stay on the hook with them and just be consistent. Without consistency, you will not get there. And it has worked for everybody that I know that I put on that remain consistent. Because I've had even, I believe TJ in the past was like, oh, I didn't get one. You know, it was her first day or so. And she wasn't like, oh, I didn't get it. I was like, wake up tomorrow and call. And then she realized, oh my goodness, it did work. And that
Yeah.
is just the key to it. Like if you're not going to be consistent, you're just throwing your money away that you put in. But I promise you all, that is all that I've done. And I've done a lot of closings. I've only been doing this since 2015, I believe, is when I got my seal. So I'm just to the point where I had to renew my first seal. So technically in the notary world, a lot of notaries are like, oh, you haven't been doing it that long, but I've done more signings than the person that's done in like a 10, 15-year period. And I get them all the time. And now I pretty much kind of work with 3 or 4 companies, but I never count the other companies out. I always take signings from other companies, but I do have my hubs that I work with, and I know they're gonna just send them over to me like crazy. Also, too, guys, once you get locked in and you got those signing companies on the hook, you want to make sure that you're not making mistakes. Utilize solutions by TJ. You have to, because you want to be consistent and not making mistakes. When you make mistakes, there is a way for information to be put into the SnapDoc system about you and your performance. You can't see it, but signing companies can see it. So it's very, very important that you're not making mistakes. I've yet to make a mistake. Hopefully it doesn't happen, knock on wood. But I haven't made any mistakes yet. And I believe, and I'm not going to say I believe, but I also know that that's the key. I literally have had companies, I've signed at a couple title companies before, and they've had another notary in the room down from me. And they stopped me and said, hey, can you please go down the hall? It's her first day signing, and we need to make sure she doesn't make mistakes. And so I literally get done with my closing, walk down the hall and help the next notary out just so that she makes it through that signing successfully. So just making sure that you hone in and know the craft of notary. As Latanya was saying, it is very, very it's very easy, guys. It's just too easy for you not to know exactly what you're doing. You know, there's information, there's solutions by TJ, if nothing else. I feel like a lot of the times a lot of people kind of, go to the books and different things, and the experience kind of does it. I say if you make it through your 5th signing, it's gonna be a breeze after that. And those of you all who I've actually gone over documentation with, and you all have had some of those big packets, if you've done a big packet that's about 200 pages and made it through successfully, please just know that that is going to be the worst probably packet that you've ever gotten. I know a couple of companies and they are just a beast, those packets. So once you get up to that 200 page and you've done one of those and you made it through it, everything else should be a breeze. It's just repetition. It's repetition from Texas to Florida. Last week I did Ohio for the first time. No, I did Ohio for the 3rd time last week. They do have some documents that are a little bit strange if you're not from Ohio, but it's all pretty much the same. You're looking for where to sign. You're looking for initials. You're looking for where do I stamp? Where do I fill in my notarization information? Just, y'all, it's just too easy for us not to help everybody and not to tell people about it.
Absolutely. So when we were on the phone, because me, you know how you just get into an impromptu conversation with your family, and Mariama and I were on the phone last week when I asked her to be on this call, and I'm gonna give you. I wrote notes because baby, she was on a roll. So she gave me 4 title companies that she's getting a lot of work from. One is Amrock. I think that's a new one that you started working with. Fidelity Title, Stewart Title, and Signing Service of America. Um, she also said, when you contact people, like say for instance, she was talking about Kim, and you kind of get an idea that you and Kim are good. Now, if you get on the phone with somebody rude, bypass that person. Don't call at the same time. Call at a different time so that somebody else can be on shift. So if somebody is rude to you, Cool, no problem. I get it, Tamika. They are kind of like that sometimes. Call at a different time, later in the day, first thing in the morning, get somebody else, see how their attitude is. And when you get that person, say that it's Kim, that's who you start building your relationship with. And after
So
that conversation, you say, hey, Kim, girl, what time do you normally come in? What's your shift? And you call Kim on her shift during her shift and say, hey girl, this is Latanya. I was just calling to find out if you have anything for me. You may as well go on and give me something because I'm gonna call you back tomorrow. Just be silly, be fun, be personable. Like she was saying. You had something to say, Mariam?
So I will say that don't give up on the very first phone call because that person may just be in the midst of doing a lot of stuff. I will tell you all the end of the month, they can be extremely rough because they have so many orders that are coming in the end of the month. They really don't want to hear anything from notaries. They don't even want to see the comments that you put on SnapDoc. So end of the month can be a little bit rough, but the beginning of the month, make sure you're really getting in there and they know your name so that by the time the end of the month comes, they can be like, oh, Mariama always calls us and is always stalking us. She definitely probably needs something in that area. So really remember that you will get a little bit of rudeness, but usually it's because they're just overwhelmed and they have a lot going on for the day. But try them again. But if you realize after that second or third conversation, it's just still not going well, then yes, definitely switch over to another person.
And another thing that Mariama mentioned during our conversation was a lowball offer. So when y'all see these offers, these requests from coast to coast, where you're signing packages that only have 11 to 45 documents, $35 or $30 is not a lowball offer. That's about right. That's not a bad price, and it's actually a good signing for your first signing. It gets you in the door. It gets you, comfortable to being in front of the client and comfortable with a package of documents that's not too big and it's quick. You're in and out of there in what, 15 minutes at the max. So you
Yeah.
made $30. A lot of people don't make $30 an hour at their job, and you just made $35. I mean, $30 in 15 minutes. Not a lowball offer, y'all. Look at it from a mental perspective point of view. So take those $30 jobs that Coast to Coast is giving, and if, for instance, you are not getting any from, let's say, signing service or somewhere else, and you see in their notification that they're paying notaries, let's say $120. Say, hey, I just saw that you posted a notification in SnapDocs. I will take that job for $90. I'm new, but I have a mentor and she goes over every document with me. I will not make a mistake. I'm super efficient. All I need for you to do is give me a shot and I'll take the job for less than what you're paying for it. And that may get you in the door, right, Mariama?
Yes, that is very true. That's your, I'm not going to say your last result, but as a new signing agent, it is getting challenging to get on when you're up against, for example, somebody like me who has done 1,100, close to 1,100 signings. You're saying, oh, I'm new and I'm doing just one. That can be a little bit rough. Also, too, and I don't know if you're going to this or not next, but I just want to mention any signing that you are getting that is not a part of SnapDocs needs to be put into the SnapDocs system. And the reason I say that is because when you put those signs into SnapDocs, every sign that you put from an outside company that's not on SnapDocs that goes into the SnapDocs system counts as a signing, and they can see that. So you want your number to go up as much as possible. You can even put one in yourself so that you're showing that you may have one signing under your belt. So that's very, very important to get those signings that are not through SnapDocs into the SnapDocs system.
Absolutely. Especially when you're starting out. So when you're starting out, and I'm seeing in the comments, okay, so this is one, Mariama,
Mm-hmm.
$75 for 175 to 180 pages that you have to print out twice. Remember, you have to print the docs out twice. I
Yes,
get it, but when you are starting out, it's about volume at that point. It's about
exactly.
getting in the door. So, as a mature notary, am I going to take that job? No. When I'm first starting out, I took every job that came across my screen. I was the first one to click, yeah, I'm available on every single job. And that's how that momentum built, where I'm getting 40 notifications a day now.
Yeah,
So you
it's true.
have to allow that. You can't pick and choose those jobs in the beginning. Take the job, it's going to be enough. $75 should be enough to cover your cost for printing and your car, but the experience is priceless.
Yeah.
So
So
I say,
I will tell you all, if you go back and really calculate everything out, and I think you're spending $3 to $5, not even that much. I mean, that's just, crazy. But you're usually spending anywhere around $3 per signing. So that's 75 minus $3 minus a couple dollars to drive wherever you're going, y'all. It's well worth it, even at the 75. Now, I will tell you right now that you'll notice as you do signings that their pricing starts fluctuating. You're not always going to get 150. You're not always going to get 75. So as long as it falls anywhere between 75 and like 150, you're good to go, y'all. It's still worth it, because the time that you put in versus the time that you're getting, as Latanya said before, you're getting more than what you would get hourly at usually, most people's jobs. So it's well worth it. You got to calculate it out. A pack of paper legal paper may cost you anywhere from $5 to max should be $8. And that's for the entire pack. And you're only spending $3 per signing. I think that may be a good amount. So you all make sure you're doing your calculations. By the time you do all those calculations out, you should not be putting in that much. So it's so well worth it.
okay, so this one says, my mentor told me to stop adding my outside jobs in the SnapDocs because they harvest that info and go after those companies for business. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't agree. I don't agree, because they may harvest those companies for business, but it's enough to go around for everybody. It's literally enough for companies. There's enough for individuals. If you're an individual and you want to, for example, I'll tell you all, I do in a week's time. I literally, let's just use Friday for example. Friday I did like 10 signings. I'm meeting well over what my quota is for myself. So it's enough for everyone to go around. It's so much to go around to me that anybody who asks me about notarizations, I'm willing to help them. Say, hey, this is how you get on. And I'm in Harris County, Houston area, and I never refrain. I'm never like, ooh, let me not tell another person to be a notary because it may take away from me. It has not affected me at all. If it is affecting you, other companies getting on and other individuals getting on, it is not that's affecting you. It's your work performance, and it's something most likely in the SnapDoc system that you cannot see a note, a negative comment about you that's stopping you from getting signings. It is not other companies getting on. Who cares? I'm still getting my 10, 20, 30 signings, a week. Whatever I need to get, I'm still able to get. So I don't think that it matters whether other companies come up, because every day I see a new company, but it's just like, okay, I'm still getting my 150s. I'm still meeting my quota for the week. I'm still meeting beyond my quota that I have personally for the week. So I think that it's okay. It's not a big deal. But when you put your signings in SnapDocs, it allows for you to actually show that you're doing more work. So you're actually hurting yourself individually as a notary by not putting your signings in there, because it looks like you've done less than what you really have done.
And you talked about using it as your back office, using it to take to understand who's paid you, who hasn't paid you. Tell them about that a little bit.
Very important. So a lot of the times I have friends who have done signings before, and they're like, oh my goodness, I don't remember if this company paid me. Or, oh my goodness, I just received a check in the mail from this company. Oh my goodness, it's been 60 days. I'm like, well, how did you know that? Why did you not know that you had not received your check? And she was like, oh, I didn't think about it. And I'm like, you gotta have something to use to, to record where you're actually, to record your information of the signings that you're actually doing. So maybe you have some other system that you use, but SnapDocs is there for you to do that, and it doesn't charge us to do that. So why not put everything in one feed? Because if you have, for example, let's say you're on signing agent .com, or you're on signingorders.com or Notary Dash. You have all these different browsers you have to go to try to keep up with your money. If you put them all in one, which is SnapDocs, which allows you to put outside signings in, you put them all in there, then there it is. You have everything in one spot, so it's easy to watch your money. For that other comment as well, where they said, hey, they harvest that information. You don't have to put anything in but the last name of the signing you did and the amount that you actually were paid. You don't have to put any other information in. So you don't have to put the company information. You can say, hey, I did a signing for Tammy and they're paying me $125. That's all the information that's needed. So it can be that simple.
Awesome. And let me talk to y'all too a little bit about wealth mindset, because one thing that I had to learn that I think propelled me into, a lot of the successes that I have is trying to rid yourself of that lack mentality that a lot of us have. Meaning, God made plenty of air, plenty of water. I haven't seen a whole bunch of grass missing. There's plenty of grass. There is a universe of abundance and plenty. And when you start seeing lack and limitation in certain places, you need to tweak your mindset to understand that God is a God of plenty. And if it's not, then that lack that you see is going to manifest itself in your money and in other ways in your life. So you have to be cognizant of that and try to, work on that in your mind that, man, there's plenty. I have not been in a business. I have not been in any business where I got to fight, because just like y'all, there are plenty of notaries. There are plenty of people on YouTube, but where are y'all? Y'all are here with me on a Sunday night. So nobody can beat you at being you. And that's what people hire. People hire you for you. So last but not least, Mariama, you mentioned a company that allows new notaries 1 day a month. Do you remember the name of that company?
And it's so funny you just said that, because I actually need to pull the name of that company, because I have somebody that needs to get on as well. If I'm not mistaken, give me just a second. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. And so while she's looking for that, Carrie, I'm gonna talk about you. Have you damaged your opportunity if you were always counter offering on SnapDocs? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because in SnapDocs, you can say available, I'll take the job, or you can just not answer them. If it's a job that you don't want, just don't answer it. If nobody replies to that job for that price, they're going to increase the price. So if somebody is willing to do it for that price, then, let them do it. There are plenty of jobs. I've never counter offered. If I want the job, I take the job. If I don't want the job, then I don't take it. It's as simple as that. And me saying that I don't take it, I don't say no, I'm not available. I just simply let that one pass me by. So in my personal opinion, do you damage your opportunity? Yeah, people know, okay, yeah, she's always haggling. So especially in the beginning, I don't do that now, but especially in the beginning, Carrie, I wouldn't. I don't want that to discourage you. Still reach out, talk to people. Ain't nothing. Let me tell you something. Nothing discourages me. You can't discourage me, because I'm gonna go after my money, and I'm gonna call back and say, sorry, didn't know I was new. I'm gonna play the dumb card every time. What do you think about that, Mariama? Have you damaged your opportunity if you're always counter offering on SnapDocs?
Just don't continue to do it. That way it never shows that you are doing that. I agree with TJ. I've done the same thing, guys. Like, I've never ever said I'm not available. I just ignore it. When you ignore it, there's nothing that can be done. Like you said, they're going to up it if nobody accepts it, but never say, oh, I'm not available, or a counter offer. If you can avoid doing that, just don't do it. Because there's no way of them tracking the fact that you didn't say anything at all. But when you do say something, say, oh, I'm not available, or the price is too low, they can track that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the company was Fidelity, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that that's one of them. Amrock is enrolling now. I actually had to get back on with Amrock because I switched my name, my notarization name. So I had to get back on with them. But they definitely have reps that you can reach out to, get one of them on the phone. Literally, I re-signed on with them, and within like an hour or two, they were already calling me to do signings for them. So it's definitely another good one. They're actually enrolling now versus the other company, which I believe is Fidelity. They only do it one day of the month. So
Okay. All right, guys. I'm wrapping up here. Thank y'all so much for coming. I hope this was beneficial. I'm probably going to change the name and put some type of thumbnail on here. But man, our little tribe is growing. We have 140 people on tonight. It used to be our same little old 30 people, y'all. We growing up. So please make sure to hit that like button, hit the heart, subscribe to the channel, because we are constantly coming up with new stuff, always trying to find ways to help you all to be better notaries and to make money, because now is a very, very prosperous time in this world. So you just heard Mariama say she did 10 jobs in a day. So 10 jobs times, $100. $90 minimum. She made $1,000 in that one day. For real.
It's true. Yeah.
And just like
It's
I
true.
told you, just like I told y'all, I was telling them before you got on here, I have a girl that I talked to last week. She's making $20,000 a month. She made her first $20,000 a month.
Easily.
Easy. Yeah.
Easily. Like I tell people all the time, a lady just the other day, I was doing a refinance for her, and she asked me, she said, so how much do you make? And I said, well, when I'm not trying, I said maybe about 5,000 when I'm not trying, but when I'm really trying, I'm in anywhere between 10 to 15, I would say, is usually where I am. But at some point, I just like, okay, I'm being ridiculous. But easily, you can easily get 20,000. Like it's well beyond doable. I know several people who actually get 10 to 20,000 easily each month. Several of them have left their corporate America type jobs to go and do signings and are just cleaning up. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try my best to get everything answered as quickly as possible. Tamika, man, I'm still riding with you. Hey, we're going to figure it out. We are going to figure it out how to get you more jobs and to be consistent. But thank you all for joining us. This has been Solutions by TJ with Sean and Mariama, and we are blessed to have y'all, and y'all have a great week. God bless.
Bye, everyone. Bye.